Hey there everybody, today I'm going to be demoing the Saharan Dusk look. I'm super excited about it. These are some beautiful, beautiful colors. So excited about them. So first, as base, I'm going to be applying the rose gold, which is this one, to the base of the eyelid, to the full eyelid. So I have my all over brush. That's the color. Pat and sweep onto the eyelid. I use a combination of patting and sweeping just because of my terrible eyesight. So those of you with terrible eyesight, don't be dissuaded from doing eye makeup. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Use the brush, find the contour of the eyes, use that natural contouring to figure out where everything is. There's that, you can feel that top of the eyelid. Anything under it is the eyelid. And again, that's using that beautiful rose gold. All right. So my next step is going to be the crease brush, which, do you see the angle on that? There is a angle to that brush. It is relatively thin, not the thinnest brush, but definitely thinner. And I'm going to go in with Cinnabar. It is a cinnamony color, hence the name. This one right here. So apply it to that crease brush so it's nice and packed on there. Find that crease which is just above the eye. And for an extra bit of fun, I sort of start here and then drag it and eventually meet it. So you can go as high as you want to here, especially if you have more hooded eyes. My eyes are a little bit hooded, not terribly so, but if you have a little bit more hooded eyes, you can play with this crease, drag it up as much as you want. You can clean it up using that ring finger. And to the other side, again, packing that cinnamon color onto the brush. Clean that up a little bit. And I'm going to highlight with the eye smudger brush. Now it has a point to it, so it is good for detail work, with the gold status, which is this amazing gold color. And this goes into the inner corner. So here and into the inner corner. So we kind of can treat not just this part as the inner corner, but here as well, especially if you are a glasses wearer. It will counteract some of those dark shadows that are caused by glasses. But make sure to also drag it into sort of the first third of the eyeshadow. So here, helps brighten the eye, counteract those shadows. And then I'm actually going to go back in with the Cinnabar. Now this is the most precision brush. This is the eyebrow eyeliner brush. It is very chiseled, it is very thin. I'm going to go back in with that Cinnabar for the lower lashes. And here's where you could really clean up that crease to make sure that that line is consistent. Doesn't have to be perfect. Makeup should be fun, not stressful. Now, an easy trick to add extra drama to any eye look is to put the color on this sort of inner part here. Just amplifies that look a little bit more. And fix that lower line if need be. Don't stress. Again, adding it to the sort of inner part of the lower eye is optional. It just helps add a little bit of extra drama to any look. It can be also done with a very light color in order to brighten the eye as well. Instead of using eyeliner, could use a light color like that golden status color. Could be used on the inner eye, or not the inner eye, on this sort of inner lower line here to brighten if need be. Experiment, have fun. There. I'm going to blend those together with my little floofy blender brush. Start with the lightest color first, blending it out. All right, now I'm going to go back in with that eyeliner brush one more time. because I really like using eyeshadow as eyeliner. Any black eyeliner would be great with this look. I'm going to use black eyeshadow. Just get rid of some of that excess cinnamon on there. There's that black. I find just using eyeshadow gives a slightly softer look. Also, more options for color. Start in the middle, press and drag, press and drag, press and drag, press and drag. There you go. Starting in the middle, work down on both sides. And then again, I'm pressing it and drag. I want to finish the eyes with mascara. This is my absolute favorite mascara, but any mascara can be used. This is the Panorama mascara, my absolute favorite. Trick to mascara is use a combination of blinking and wiggle the brush to get the whole lash. Now the multiple bristles is what really gives the oomph to this particular mascara. But even with a regular mascara wand, using multiple coats will give maximum impact. And then I'm using the tip of the wand for an extra oomph because it has a little brush on the end. See that? And then I'm going to use that on the lower lashes. Again, doing mascara on the lower lashes is optional. It's a great way to go from day to night. During the day, either have lower lashes done with a more neutral color like brown or closer to your natural color, and then just sweep something on that matches the top lashes using just the tip of the wand. That helps avoid those spider lashes that nobody wants. Again, a combination of wiggling the brush and blinking to get those lashes completely coated. And I'm rotating the wand so that the different bristle types are also hitting those lashes. And then going in with that fan right there at the end to really get maximum impact. And then if you mess up, that's fine. Just fix it. Not a big deal. So that's the eyes done. They're very, very nice color. And now I'm going to go in with the cheeks. The cheeks are fun because not only are we doing a very coppery blush with the golden copper, also doing a contour. Now I'm using the lighter shades of the contour because I have a paler face. the contouring colors can be darker, but for me, I have to use lighter colors. But if you are bolder than you can use the darker contouring set. So first I'm going to start with the highlighter, and I am using the cheek brush, which is angled. So this part here, I'm going to use for the highlighter. And the highlighter is going to go onto the forehead and onto the nose. Now, the smudger brush could also be used for the highlighter here. So I'm going to grab my highlighter and apply it sort of the top of the brush and apply it to the top of the forehead. And carefully onto the nose. All right, then I'm going to go in with the actual blush, that golden copper, onto the cheeks. So the body of the brush, give that a whack to kind of get at the excess color out because that's pretty dark. Again, if you are a bolder person than you don't necessarily have to worry about that so much. So smile, apply to the apple of the cheek, and then drag upward. Because that way, when you're not smiling, it doesn't just sit on the cheeks. Adds warmth and color, especially if you're pale like I am. I'm going right up almost into the hairline. All right, and the last piece is the contour. And the contour is going to be applied to the heel of the brush, like so. There is a groove here for the thumb. Squeeze it and apply directly to the cheekbone. Other side. I'm doing a fish face because I don't really know where my cheekbones are. If you're lucky enough to know where your cheekbones are, just go where cheekbones are. And it's to add that illusion of shadow to make it appear that the cheekbone exists for those of us who don't really have them. All right, and the last step is lips. I'm going to be outlining with beige nude. Start with the Cupid's bow there. I'm looking up into my mirror. This is lip primer. I'm accentuating my Cupid's bow just a little bit. My top lip is a little bit thinner than my lower lip. You can really play around with where your lips actually are, especially if you're using primers and foundations can really kind of play with where your lips actually are versus where you would like them to be. Now I'm going to be using the Better Than Bare hydrating lipstick. Look at that beautiful color. So I do not like using the color straight out of the tube. Instead, what I like to do is I will scrape some off and apply it with a lip brush. That way I can use multiple coats if I so want to. So I like to use the lip brush. So here I'm going to scrape some of it off. Scrape, scrape, scrape. You can scrape off however much you want. What's really great about this is if there's a color that you really just don't think is bold enough, you can go back in over and over and over until you're happy with it. Or if you have a color that you're not used to and it kind of freaks you out because you think maybe it's too bold for me, you can just scrape a teeny bitty little bit off, and just it allows you to completely control how much color you are applying to that lip. Ooh. That is a really pretty brown. It works really well with that nude liner. I'm gonna have to fix that. That's okay. So in order to fix that, I'm going to go in like that. And then I'm actually going to go over it again a little bit with that liner, just because some of it disappeared a little bit. And anything that is not desired can be fixed, or if you really want to define that lip shape, go in with the concealer. I'm just getting a little bit out here. These are the new concealers. And I've got my cream brush here. Really define that lip shape, color and cover any undesirable things. I've got a tiny blemish here right now, you wouldn't know. Again, I'm really going to try and emphasize that Cupid's bow. Another place that highlighter could be used is right along the Cupid's bow to really emphasize the light hitting that area. Now my lips are a little bit more defined. Working that concealer a little bit more into the foundation. There. So that is the Saharan Dusk look. Very, very nice kind of desert look, which is a funny thing to be doing in the dead of winter, but why not? So I always like to end my looks by having everything put together. Take my hair out, put my jewelry on, my earrings in. Another tip, if blush frightens you or contour frightens you and you feel like it's gone on too dark, use the, one second, the powder, the translucent powder with the really floofy brush, and that will take down the color. There. So that is the final look, everything together. I think it looks very nice and deserty, nice colors. Really like that blush. That lip is really nice. Those are the eye colors again. Very nice. So that's all for me. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. And I will see all of you again really soon. Take care of yourselves. Until then, bye-bye.